met her from is the host of This Week in Star Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kristen Baker to the stage! There she is. Hi, Kristen. How are you? You can have a seat at our judges' table. I'm very sad Hector Smidget isn't with us today. Is somebody watching Hector Smidget? What's happening?
Well, he's probably watching this.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Huge Star Wars fan.
Huge Star Wars fan, pianist for This Week in Star Wars, you know.
Exactly, so.
Very accomplished cat.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Kristen, give it up one more time for Kristen. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We got a little preview of our next judges, folks. Next, our second judge today, she is the host of Star Wars, the High Republic show on StarWars.com, and you may have also seen her in a little show called Critical Role. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Christina Ariel! Hi, Christina.
Hi.
Christina, you're a little bit knowledgeable about cosplay. You've done a couple of times, a couple of cosplay, yeah?
Couple here and there.
Just a couple here and there. What would you say is your average, if you've done one from scratch, what do you think the average hours amount of work goes into it?
I like to do this thing called cosplay styling and hiring someone who is better at those things than me.
Now that's smart.
It is actually, I think, the most intense build, because by Costume Karina, she did my Wakandan Wonder Woman. So that was, I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but it's really fun. It's a crossover in the Amalgam Age era where I did Wonder Woman mixed with the Shuri makeup. It's one of my pride and joys.
It's incredible. Incredible. Quite the play on. Quite the play on. Hi there, Steve. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just great, but I am troubled. I've been to many Industrial Light and Magic Halloween parties where the special effects wizards have made the most amazing costumes, but I've never seen a better group of costumes than I've just seen now.
Okay. Darth Revan is feared by the Jedi and Sith. He is a knight of the Old Republic that is a legend. The helmet is made out of Bondo and resin. Those are moves. Give it up for those moves. And the costume is made out of various materials, both leather and pleather. Strike that pose. Looking amazing. Give it up for Darth Revan. Okay, one more time. One more time. All right, moving into cosplayer number 2, no other than Fluke Skywalker, coming to us as Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi. Please welcome Fluke Skywalker. Fluke Skywalker is a cosplayer. He uses his doppelganger resemblance that we can all hear, that we can all see, to Mark Hamill to volunteer for charities. This is his 4th year volunteering as Luke. He has hand-stitched parts of both of the elder Luke Skywalker costumes that he owns. Fluke is a retired science teacher, and most of the charities that he volunteers for helps out infirm children and their families. This is Dude Vader, a mashup of C-3PO and Darth Vader. Imagine, what if the time between the Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, C-3PO goes it alone on a new adventure, after the rise of Skywalker, deciding to gear up as a golden version of his creator, and go to Outer Rim bars, festivals as a stand-up comic called Dude Vader. That is who this is. One more time for Dude Vader! The detail work on those swords. How you feeling, judges? We're 3 in. How are you feeling over there so far?
I mean, the fun has begun. What can one say?
Moving to our next contestant, we have Retro Snow White, who is coming to us as Leia from The Empire Strikes Back. Give it up for retro Snow White as Leia from The Empire Strikes Back. Here she comes. The creation of this cosplay began last Star Wars Celebration in 2019. 250 hours were spent hand embroidering every single stitch on the iconic cape. It took an additional 130 hours of hand sewing to produce the remaining sections of the outfit. Everything she custom made is 100% accurate recreation. Unbelievable. Thank you. One more time, give it up for retro Snow White as Leia from The Empire Strikes Back. Next up, we have Imperial Light and Magic as Lobot from The Empire Strikes Back. Imperial Light and Magic says about themselves, they've been follically challenged since their 20s. So they've been searching for a Lobot costume, specifically the headpiece, for several years. Many were designed and built, but Steve was always disappointed when it came to the screen accuracy. Eventually he found the perfect design, and being an electrics engineer, set up upon building a wearable, lightweight lighting system for the signature part of the Lobot costume headpiece. When you can't find a professional, you become the professional yourself. Give it up for Steve from Imperial Light and Magic. Next up, we have Shelly Hawkins as Wicket. Wicket is a young Ewok scout who provides essential assistance to the rebels on the forest moon of Endor. Made by hand over countless hours with faux fur, endless sticks of hot glue, foam, Sculpey, cheesecloth, and some absurd items such as camping mat, a plastic ornament, not to mention just some winging it. This cosplay nearly destroyed a sewing machine, and we are happy for it. Give it up for Wicket! All right. Coming up next is Marietta Ivanova as Sun Fox from Attack of the Clones! Marietta is in the right room because just by the name, everyone started to ooh and ah. So to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones, Marietta has brought to life one of its characters, a Geonosian warrior and a separatist diplomat. These characters were fully digital creations that didn't leave behind any physical props or life-size representations. So Marietta carefully studied the 5 seconds of screen time this character had and figured out a way to convert the insect alien form into a wearable costume. And as of course this is the first of its kind, it was made from scratch. Marietta sewed the garments at her kitchen table and modeled the hard parts in 3D. The massive collarbone took almost 4 days to print. Wearing the costume requires balance, as the feet are built on high-heeled boots without the heels. By presenting this costume, Marietta wishes to share with you her favorite Star Wars alien and to thank the original creators for their inspirational ideas. I will no longer be complaining about wearing the shoes that I'm currently wearing. No longer do that. Unbelievable work. How you feeling out there? We're almost halfway in. We are seeing some unbelievable stuff once again, not envying our judges right now. Please welcome, this is Jessica Mitro as JN14, a gunk droid. That's right. Coming up to this stage, if you came here and you were like, I don't think they're gonna have a gunk droid, you were wrong. Truly perfect music selection here. This little gonk power droid started its life as a couple of 30-gallon storage containers. The middle strip is made of steel and is bolted into the top container. The greeblies are a mix of 3D printed items, bottle caps, cut acrylic pieces, and various items found around the garage. The space inside the gonk allows for plenty of lights and motors, as well as a water bottle holder for the comfort of the cosplayer. The feet are 3D printed and the legs are made from a dryer vent. After all that was put together, several cans of spray paint were used to make it look like it had spent years in the deserts of Tatooine. In fact, if you look at the back, you can see where it was hit by a stray blaster shot. Poor droid, but still chugging along, recharging vehicles and machinery that have ran out of juice, as the gonk droid does. Thank you so much. Give it up one more time for Jessica Mitro as JN14.
You know this, I have been a gonk droid, and that is no easy feat.
Can you tell us about your gonk droid experience, please?
Yes, I was a gonk droid for the Star Wars show, 100th episode, and it was probably my first month there, so naturally I volunteered.
Of course.
And then I found out why everyone only does it once.
Yeah. You were like, oh, I'd love to be a gonk droid. Everyone was like, yeah, Kristen wants to do it. Kristen definitely is the one who wants to do it. No one's fighting you over it.
Yeah, let's put the noob in there.
Yeah. It's so weird. No, but they're letting me do this. How fun. Nope, just didn't want to do it themselves. You're a brave soul. The original interpretation of Darth Vader's samurai armor is made out of leather, painstakingly hand-tooled and laced together in traditional fashion. It was built modular so that it can be worn in multiple configurations and has continually evolved over the past 4 years. Imperial light pattern on the thigh armor, intricate designs on the weapons, and many convention quality of life features. Give it up for Stephen Wong as Shogun Vader. Coming up next to our stage, we've got Grayslak as Silaj Obdrait from the Clone Wars and Fallen Order. Inspired from the Clone Wars, this original creation took months of studies and craft to both fit into the Star Wars universe spirit and being unique as an original character. The armor and weapons are made with Eva foam and Warbla, then painted. One more time for Silaj Obdrait. Coming up next to our stage, please welcome Roberto Tadahashi as Chirrut Emway from Rogue One. I am with the Force, and I fear nothing, for all is as the Force wills it. There are 5 different types of fabrics that make up the 4 layers of costume, in addition to materials such as hand-carved wood, leather, and metal, molded resin, and 3D printed parts, all painted by the cosplayer himself. In total, it took more than 6 months of research and work. Please give it up one more time for Roberto Tadahashi. Please welcome Andorian cosplay as Leia from Return of the Jedi. This cosplay took an average of 130 hours. The tanks and electro staff are made from recycled PVC from her father's garage. Buttons and dollar store toys make up the nozzle and the gadgets in both the tanks and staff. The helmet was made out of Centroboard over the course of a week in 2019. The shoulder armor is made from EVA foam. Faux suede fabric and nylon straps were also used for the tunic, pants, and bandolier. She is proud to report none of this cosplay was made with a 3D printer. Coming up next, we've got Jordan and Cody Gustafson as Ben Quadaneros and Odie Mandrell from the Phantom Menace. I see see Ben Quaternaris from the Tun System. Although his failed power couplings prevented a sure victory in the Butahiu, he's prepared for an exciting season ahead. And hoping for a big win today, Odie Mandrell. Odie showed us that even when your pit droid gets sucked in your engines and makes you drop out of the race, you can still be a winner. Their flexible bodies allow just enough space for a few mechanics to make them come to life. Putting these costumes together was a dream come true for the creators, who want to remind you that even if your engines fail, you can still be the coolest racers in the galaxy.
Invested over here that everyone gets off the stage safely.
Yes.
I don't know if you can hear us go nope, 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 left.
It's a lot of noises over here, I like. All right, coming up next, we have Ulysses as Wixie Trooper from the Star Wars universe. This stormtrooper is inspired by Mexican art that consists of decorating different objects with small glass beads called chaquiras. This suit has more than 125,000 colored beads glued with special wax, which were placed one by one, making this type of art unique and beautiful. It weighs approximately 18 kilograms. There were 8 months of elaboration where they fused the color of Mexican traditions in the wonderful Star Wars universe. Oh my goodness. Wow. Our next contestant is Erin Rosar as Padme Amidala from Attack of the Clones. This dress is worn by Senator Padme Amidala in Attack of the Clones during the Loyalist Committee scene on Coruscant. This costume was patterned and handmade by Erin over the course of the last 2 years, using promotional photos from the movie and the costuming exhibit. This blackberry silk taffeta bodice and the skirt have over 160 hours of hand-embroidered vines on the sleeves and apron using custom-dyed cord and silver thread. Over 60 hours were spent setting the sequins at the top of the bodice alone. Give it up for Erin Rosar! Our next cosplayer coming to the stage, please give it up for Momo Naberi as Queen. Every applique was carefully hand-beaded and embroidered, and the process took 1.5 months, 1.5 months to complete. The fabrics used to create Her Majesty's gown is a furry fabric. Oil's mask is a latex, which was cast from a sculpt and pulled from a mold, then painted with latex paint. The helmet is a latex which was painted to look like leather. The goggles are 3D printed, then hand painted for more detail. The leather strap was made to add more detail. Under the clothing is a fat suit to give the characters a bit of a stubby body like he has in The Mandalorian. And of course, the blurg was hatched from an egg found in The Mandalorian. Very nice, and we've got a little Grogu on the back. One more time for Quill. The Clone Wars is who that is. It's Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars. The entire costume took over 100 hours to complete. This includes the headpiece, which she sculpted, molded, and then cast from silicone. The dress is made from suede with heat press vinyl detailing on it, which she did the design work for. The hip armor is made from Sintra, shins from ABS. The belt and back armor is made from laser cut neoprene rubber, which she did the files for herself. Please give it up for Ahsoka freaking Tano. It's what it says on my card, okay? It's what it says. squad during the Clone Wars. Each clone was designed with genetic mutations that helped specialize their skills. Led by Clone Sergeant Hunter, the squad also consists of the expert marksman Crosshair, the enhanced strength Wrecker, Tech, who has enhanced mental capacity and intelligence, and cybernetically modified Echo. The squad's latest addition, Omega, has even begun to build her own set of specialized armor using parts handed down from her big brothers. The costumers, all friends from the Southern California area, each hand-built these costumes using a variety of techniques, including vacuum forming, fiberglass and resin molds, 3D modeling and printing. Both with and without helmets on, these costumes were painstakingly shaped, assembled, and painted to look like the characters walked right out of the show and onto the stage, and I think we can all agree that is true. Look at the Bad Batch! And then this comes out. It's amazing! Give it up for this incredible costume! Look what we see here! This costume's amazing! There were free-handed drawing patterns were put on EVA foam to cut out and piece back together. PVC pipes were used for framing the upper shoulder as well as padding for the shoulders themselves. Strike a pose, Vader Buster! Let's see. You never know what you're gonna see when you come into this room. Vader Buster, an R2-D2 mashup. This is 1-foot EVA foam blocks were used as platforms to give the costume height, which stands at about 6'7". One more time for this incredible work of Vader Buster! Leather, metal, and PLA parts. The helmet is made from PLA with a side mesh grill from a water filtration canister painted silver. The lightsaber is motion activated with 2 NeoPixel ends. The armor shown is from PLA and specifically sized and molded to Lizzie's dimensions, ensuring the best fit possible. This is Lizzie's third and most likely final, she says herself, cosplay competition in the under 13 category. Did I mention that? That is right, Lizzie Bickle is part of our under 13 category. Lizzie chose this costume to wear since she is the second sister in real life. Give it up for Lizzie in our under 13 category. She 3D printed all her armor, filled, sanded, and painted every single piece herself. She painted her headband, she wired the electronics, she sewed her boot covers, she made the patterns for her jumpsuit and vest and sewed them out of fabric she hand-dyed. She also hand-dyed all the leather, patterning and sewing the pouches, holsters, and belt herself. She worked on it on and off all through 2021, estimating 150 hours total. Give it up for Jen as Bo-Katan. A mere 576 hours. All of Plo Koon's features were sculpted on a mannequin. All wrinkles and shapes were made with plasticine. A cover was applied with ceramic plaster, and once dry, everything was removed from the mold. The same method applies to the fingers. To paint the latex prosthesis, yellow and brown and white shoe paint was used. The bracelets are made from 6mm foamy sealed with Mod Podge. Acrylic paint was applied, and the design on the bracelet was made with a thin brush and red paint. The tunic was made with 4 meters of fabric and a zipper. The boots are made of leather painted with special brown paint. Please give it up one more time for Amini Dusk as Plo Koon! Hand sculpted by Robert himself from Wicked Armor, who also provided many of the base vacuum-formed pieces. The costume is built around a rigid-framed climber's backpack for maximum mobility and comfort. This is General Grievous. Getting the suit finished in time for celebration has been over a year in the making, and it is the pride and highlight of Jerry's Star Wars costume collection, and I think we can all see why. Just the love and passion. The Naboo symbols on the tabard were hand-painted and outlined in silver ink with a paintbrush. And this is a custom fit with 39 pieces of soldered metal. The 20 parasol tips were molded and cast from a hand-sculpted master. One more time for Veronica as Queen Amidala. All hail the Queen. Took over 200 hours to complete and is completely 3D printed in PLA plastic. The pieces were then finished and hand painted to give a full representation of the beloved Wrecker from Bad Batch. Indy's tech costume, also 3D printed, had intricate leatherwork and was made with exacting detail to match her favorite Bad Batch character, Tech. Wrecker even brought along the Lula doll. One more time for Jack and Indy. Her cape is made of blue velvet. The feathers are individually sewn and are composed of different colors of tulle layered over a piece of corset and boning. The gold headpiece and detailing on the dress were hand-cut out of EVA foam and then hand-painted with gold paint. Give it up for Jessica as Trios from the Star Wars comics. That is all of our cosplayers. Let's hear it for them, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it.